Hello there, everybody out there in YouTubeville, land, town, burg, province, whatever. I'm doing a pickup video because that's all I can do right now. I'm sure some of you have heard about the hellacious windstorm that we had here in eastern Washington. Knocked all of our power out, pretty much entirely, the entire city. My wife and I, we were without power in our house for 8 days, and that was pretty terrible. But there were some kind people that came through and did nice stuff for us, such as we were lent a generator about, I think, the 4th day into it, and we were able to run a refrigerator and some lights, and we had some space heaters that were also lent to us by the same person, and we were able to keep warm that way because it was freezing in here. We were running, I think it was about, at the lowest, it was like 40 degrees inside the house and colder outside. Everything in here runs on electricity, so there's no fireplace or anything like that. Anyway, that's not what this video is about, but I just wanted to mention that because that sucked and it's still on my mind. We got our power back about 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Today is Friday, the 27th, so it's the day after Thanksgiving. And hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving in the U.S. and a little while back in Canada. Let's just get into this. So first off, this was a couple months back, I think. Masters of the Universe Classics Sorod action figure from the movie, the 1987 Masters of the Universe movie, which is available on Netflix. So you can see this guy. They did a very, very nice job of capturing his likeness to the movie. The original figure, it was so-so, but this looks just like he did in the movie, especially like around the eyes and on the jaw. For those of you who don't know, William Stout, who is a comic book artist and painter and stuff like that, he did the production design for Masters of the Universe, the motion picture, as well as guys like Ralph McQuarrie, the guy that did all the artwork for Star Wars. He did some work for Masters of the Universe, which is kind of insane because Masters was put out by the Canon Film Group and they were cheapskates. But another one was Mobius, the late Mobius. He was the French artist that is best known for stuff like heavy metal and shit of that ilk. He also did some of the production design work on that movie. Anyway, figure looks great. Looks just like the movie. You should check it out on Netflix. It's not a great movie, but it's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. Let me just adjust that real quick. And yeah, it's something that I enjoy anyway, so I hope you guys also like it. And as always, I always fucking buy movies, and so here we go. So the first up is We Are Still Here. This is the standard definition because it didn't have the Blu-ray available at Walmart, which kind of sucks. The nearest Best Buy is like in another town, so I'm not going there, and I don't like to order stuff unless I absolutely have to. I like to be able to observe things in my hand to make sure that things like, you know, the outer packaging isn't crushed or torn or anything like that. So I like to have a hands-on experience when I'm buying stuff. And buying stuff on the internet is sort of a last resort. Next up is Electric Boogaloo. This is the wild, untold story of Canon Films. It's a documentary about the Canon Film Group. I haven't watched this in its entirety yet, but it is a hoot, man. You guys gotta see this shit. This is fucking amazing. It's just great. Just watch this movie. If it's on Netflix or not, just find a way to see it. It's terrific. And I haven't even finished watching the whole thing. It's awesome. Well, I picked this one out last night. It is called Return to Sender. This is on Netflix. It looks pretty cheap. It has the chick from Gone Girl. It has Nick Nolte. It has the dude from the Evil Dead remake. And we're gonna watch this after I'm done shooting this. And it looks like a pretty decent revenge type movie. We'll see. I don't know. Might be shitty. Might not be. Who knows? This is a Pike Street Monk's Uncle. This is a good brew. I'm gonna have to drink this. Good stuff. It's kind of like a blonde ale. I forgot to show this in my last pickup video. This is Nightmare, also known as Nightmare and a Damaged Brain. This was out of print. My friend John Paul, I went to Tucson and I was looking for this used at the record store that I used to work at, or new, and they didn't have it, which was unfortunate because this is a very long story and I'm not going to get into it, but I had a pretty serious hard-on to get this movie for a very long time. I was contacting a different DVD company that had the rights to release this at the time, way back in like 2002, and they were responding to my emails and saying, well, maybe after the holidays we'll see what we can do, and then after the holidays they shut their doors altogether. So it was sitting in limbo for a while, and then this company, Code Red Releasing, ended up being the ones that distributed it on standard definition DVD and then eventually on Blu-ray. And this is limited to 1,000 or 2,000 copies, and they said it was sold out and out of print, but my friend John Paul sent me a link to this website that had it for sale for $30, and I jumped on it, and very happy to pick it up. I have had this on VHS for a very long time. The uncut version is not on VHS in the United States, as far as I know. This version is uncut. It's ever so slightly bloodier. Nothing super out of the way. Nothing you're really missing. Anyway, moving right along. This was from Walmart in the 750 bin. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Notorious 1980s slasher, was banned a lot of places. Did not have a West Coast run at all. And the sequel, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, is also notorious for the Garbage Day clip. Garbage Day! Which is, you know, a meme pretty much now. Yeah. So, that is not available on Blu-ray in the US, as far as I know, unfortunately. But I do have the standard definition original release from Anchor Bay, which included the first and second movie. And my friend and I, when we were kids, we used to just run around saying Garbage Day all the time. And that was way before the internet caught on to it, so that's pretty fun to look back on. Recently, there was a November Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble, so I had a coupon for 10% off, plus I have a discount card because of the membership thing that they sell there, like the GameStop membership. And that gives you 10% off of purchases. And so this was 50% off plus 20% off eventually. So 70% off of a Blu-ray of Do It Look Now for Criterion Collection, and this ended up costing maybe $13, $14 after all was said and done. That's a really good deal for a Criterion Blu-ray. Really, really nice packaging on this. This folds out into a booklet, poster type thing. Lots of special features. Really good movie. kind of the type of movie you would expect it to be if you watch the Bravo 100 Scariest Movie Moments. They make it up to look like something else. It's more surreal and supernatural than what it appears to be from those clips. Picked this also from the, from the $7.50 Blu-ray bin in Walmart last month in October. This is Halloween 2. I didn't buy this for Halloween 2 because, as far as I'm concerned, there are no sequels to Halloween. There are no remakes to Halloween. But it does have, as a special feature, had to scratch my nose, the film documentary Terror in the Aisles, which features Donald Pleasance and Nancy Allen sitting in a movie theater watching clips to a whole shitload of like horror movies and some movies that aren't really horror, like there's this action movie with Sylvester Stallone and Billy D. Williams called Nighthawks that's featured in here because it's a Universal motion picture, so they had the rights to use the clips from it, so it's in there. Anyway, it's a lot of fun, and that's the only reason that I bought this. And yeah, so they also had a whole shitload of horror movies that were $6.50 on Blu-ray, and they had new special edition packaging with these neat art cards. So I picked up Troll 2. Oh my God, Troll 2. Here's the cover, and this is the art card. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit inside the case, but these are very nicely done. Some of these are looking nicer than the others. I think there's about 20 of these altogether. Yeah, and this was $6.50. It's the same edition that MGM put out a while back. There's a Shout Factory release that just came out that has Troll and Troll 2 as a double feature, plus as a bonus feature it has the documentary Best Worst Movie, which is all about Troll 2 and the making of it and stuff. It was made by the kid that was in the movie, Michael Paul Stevenson. And that is a great documentary and very much worth seeing. So I also picked up Hostel Part 2. I don't have the original on Blu-ray. I do have both of these on standard def. I just want to pick them up on Blu-ray because these are from Lionsgate, and Lionsgate is very notorious for not releasing older movies on Blu-ray. They only put out newer stuff, and they haven't been putting out a lot of horror lately like they had been in the past. Like it's all Blumhouse now that's putting out horror instead of Lionsgate. Lionsgate is focusing mainly on like the Hunger Games, and there's something else that's coming out recent. That's a big release. I can't remember what it is though. Anyway, on to some other shit. Yeah, other shit. How about that? First of all, Marvel Legends. I got a Spider-Man 2099. These dried up in the area, and I managed to find one just kind of like on accident. I will be finishing up this Hobgoblin wave because even though I don't really care for all of the characters in this line, like I don't really give a shit about Anti-Venom, and I'm not really particularly fond of this red Spider-Woman from this line, but I want to assemble this Hobgoblin because even though I'm not familiar with the ultimate version of Hobgoblin, he actually at least resembles, specifically as far as color is concerned, the original classic Hobgoblin. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, this Spider-Man is pretty dope. And if you haven't noticed, I got a mild buzz going on here. And I broke down and finally just started buying Star Wars Black figures recently. I gave into the hype. I didn't want to, but I just did it. So I got Commander Cody from episode 3 and the Clone Wars cartoon series. Yeah. This is a clone captain by the red on him. and a clone general. These are basically considered to be the shelf warmers, the clone captain and general, and Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith. He's also considered a peg warmer, but I don't see any of the figures at all that aren't Force Awakens related anymore, unless I go to Walgreens, and that's where I got a lot of these non-original trilogy figures, except for I managed to find Kylo Stimpy here at Walmart recently. They were completely wiped out. The last time I saw these was on that Force Friday bullshit, and there was like 3 of them left, and I just was looking. I didn't actually want to buy it, but I picked this one up last month because they happened to have one. I hadn't seen one in a while. And then the same night I managed to find at a different store this First Order Stormtrooper, and he is actually really cool. If you get the Finn figure, you can pop his head off and put his head on the Stormtrooper head, and it looks like the trailer. So those are the figures I got. In addition to Masters of the Universe Classic Sorod, I have skipped a couple of figures from that line recently because I just haven't had the money to justify purchasing some of those because they are expensive. And what did I skip over? Video games, that's what I skipped over. Dropped all of them. Okay, so I've been on a little bit of a wrestling video games kick. Last time I did a pickup video, I had picked up Legends of WrestleMania, and one of the cool things about Legends of WrestleMania is that you can import the roster from this game, SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, into that game. So I picked it up for very cheap at GameStop, which I haven't actually tried this game out. One of the things I like about it is it has ECW, but it's the WWF version of ECW, so it's not really the real ECW. Unfortunately, the only real ECW games are those shitty ones that Acclaim put out back on the Dreamcast days. It was ECW Hardcore Revolution, and I can't remember what the other one was called. It was terrible, though. Both of those games were complete garbage. I think shitty wrestling games is what got Acclaim their license, their WWF license revoked, and they handed it over to, I think, THQ or something of that sort. Anyway, the next one I picked up was WWF All-Stars. This is these guys all look like plastic action figures, which is kind of fun. So it has characters from the modern day and from the past. It's not that modern as far as being up to date, but it is a few years old. The network version of this game is completely been stripped. It's not online anymore, unfortunately. And I also picked up WWF 13 for the Attitude Era mode, and because it has CM Punk on the cover, the best in the world. And I truly think he is the best in the world sometimes. He's great. I hope he comes back to wrestling sometime in the near future. I also picked up Tetris Ultimate for the Vita, which is a pretty fun game, pretty challenging, and a thing I've been after for a while is Pandemonium for the PlayStation 1. I used to have this on the Saturn, like way back in the day, like when it came out. I wanted to get it again. I've had it maybe once, I think, on the PlayStation, and then when I went to get it again, I didn't realize it, but I bought Pandemonium 2 from a used bookstore, and I didn't realize that I bought the sequel, which isn't as good, but I'll probably pick that up eventually. This is a good game. I don't know why they changed this so much from the Japanese version, but if you can play both versions, I would recommend getting the Japanese version, which is called Magical Hoppers, and they're identical otherwise. They have the same music and everything, but the graphics for these characters have been changed drastically. Her, for instance, looked like she had a tail. Now it looks like there's just kind of some steam whenever she jumps, or a fart or something. I don't know. Anyway, that is everything for my pickup video. This went flying out of my hand and landing on the floor because, like I said, I'm a little bit tipsy. And it's only going to get better. Guys, I will catch you all next time. And like I said, this is Pike Street Monk's Uncle. If you are ever in Seattle, have one of these. It's good stuff. And you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.